Shalom, everybody. Rabbi Edelstein here with another installment of Rabbi E in 3, brought to you by MEOR, Washington, D.C. Our website is MEORDC.com. Have a look and learn about all of our programs. Well, let me tell you, I was having coffee with one of my students this week, and he told me about a situation with one of his roommates, and how that roommate, he told me, doesn't really accept criticism very well. And we talked about that topic, and I realized I wanted to talk about it with you today, in accepting criticism, how we react to criticism. Now, I must admit, I'm not perfect in this regard. It's one of my shortcomings. We all struggle with that probably, but it's such an important topic. It's important because if we're really here in this world to grow as human beings, to grow spiritually, then constructive criticism, tochacha, which is the Hebrew word for rebuke or criticism, is such an important gift that God sends to us via the words of our roommate or our spouse or whatever, because it helps us recognize our faults and grow and elevate ourselves. The Vilna Gaon famously said, great rabbi in the 1700s, that overcoming our negative character traits is the essence of why we're here on this earth. And the Torah, with its laws and its wisdom, helps us in that quest. But we have to own up to, and not only own up to, but love the journey, love the great, I won't say ordeal, the great task of elevating ourselves, even our negative character traits. So rebuke, tochacha, constructive criticism, is a gift. King Solomon says it's the mark of a wise person that they love rebuke, and a fool is someone who spurns rebuke. And so many other verses in Proverbs, not just Proverbs, in the Torah itself, God describes to Moshe the sin of the Jewish people who are down. Moshe's on the top of the mountain with God, and the Jewish people are committing, some of them are committing the sin of the golden calf, and God says, Am kishe oref, a stiff-necked people. And that means, our commentaries say, a people that has a tendency not to want to listen to those who give rebuke or constructive criticism. And we see the prophets later on castigated the Jewish people for that very fact. So it's extremely important in our history as a people to learn, to learn from the mistakes of some of our ancestors, but to always accept and actually come to love criticism. Now, if it's said in a harsh or abusive way, well, then getting defensive is pretty normal in a certain sense, although elevated people can control even that. But when it's justified and when it's said lovingly and when we know it's right, we have to own up to such a thing. You know, the word Jew, Yehudi, not only means to thank, as we've talked about in previous weeks, lahodot, it means to admit. So admitting when we're wrong is part of the essence of being a Jew as well. And it does relate to this week's Torah portion. Jacob, at the end of his life, blesses his children. And the first 3 sons of the 12 tribes, he gives words of rebuke to. But they're part of a blessing, because it's a blessing to know where we've fallen short so we can correct ourselves. It's not easy, but have a great Shabbos. Well, that's easy. Have a great Shabbos, and let's work, myself included, on thinking about how we accept criticism as part of our quest to grow as human beings. Take care.